What's going on, everyone? This is Ask a Minister with Minister Steve White II. And I got a question here from a supporter that says, how do I deal with abandonment and bad relationships with family members? So it can definitely be a tough thing to deal with abandonment. You're feeling like, people walked out on you and weren't there for you in your life. Or maybe they didn't hold up to the promises that they made to you. They didn't keep those promises. Or maybe they just walked out altogether and just weren't there at all. It can be a tough thing to deal with, but there is some helpful tips that I'm going to share with you that can help you deal with these things. One being, you got to understand that we are all human, right? I'm human, you're human, the person that walked out on you is human, so we're all going to make mistakes. And unfortunately, because we're all human and because we're wrapped up in this flesh, in this mortal body, we're going to be let down by people. We're all going to deal with some form of abandonment in our lives. Now, some of you, unfortunately, may deal with it in bigger ways or more often than others. But because people are people, and because we're not perfect, and we're all, we're all flawed, we're all going to deal with some form of abandonment, people walking out of us, because it's just human nature to just make mistakes, right? We're imperfect beings. Now, you got to understand that, but then understand, on the other hand, God is not flawed. Jesus, he is not flawed. He will not let you down. So it's important to put him in the place where that void is, because the Bible says that he will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. He will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. So what that means is, even when it seems like God isn't there, even when it seems like he hasn't answered your prayer, you know what? God is, he's right there with you. He has not forgotten about you. He is on your side, and he is ordering your footsteps, and everything's going to work together according to his plan for your life. He is someone that we can depend on, right? He's someone that we can depend on above all else. So yes, we want to try to trust human beings, but when human beings let us down, God will never let us down. So it's important for us to remember that. Another thing when you're dealing with abandonment is you can't harbor it. Try not to harbor the abandonment. Try not to just hold it in and, not really deal with it, or try to forget about it. Try not to just tuck it away in a closet somewhere where you never dealt with it or never deal with it. That's not good either, because it's going to come up later on in life, and it's going to hit you hard, and that's not good. So it's important to just go ahead and deal with it. Say, I know this happened. I know this abandonment happened in my life. Yes, it did happen, but that person was imperfect, a flawed person, just like everyone's a flawed person. But Jesus, my God, he is not flawed. This person let me down, but God, you won't ever let me down. So I'm going to walk in this situation with forgiveness in my heart. I'm going to identify it. I'm going to move forward, but I'm going to move forward with God on my side. It's a lot easier to move forward with him on your side. So understand that you don't want to tuck these things away. Understand that we're all flawed. We are all human, and people are going to mess up. People are going to make mistakes, but God will never make a mistake in your life. So it's important to just hold God to the highest esteem, because people, sometimes you put them up there, you put folks way up here in your life, and then they let you down. Now, you don't want to try to not trust folks, but unfortunately it happens like that sometimes. Another thing you just want to remember briefly, I'll tell you, is the reconciliation is going to happen in God's timing. For some of you, you'll reconcile with this person soon. Other times, for some of you that are listening to me right now, it may not be time to reconcile with that person that hurt you. That's why you got to get into prayer. You got to ask God, is it time for me to reconcile with this person? Or are you saying it's actually good for me to have space from this person that abandoned me or failed me or let me down? Because it's going to be different. Sometimes God is saying, hey, it's not time for reconciliation yet. Other times he's saying, hey, you've waited long enough, go ahead and reconcile with this person. But wherever you are in the reconciliation process, you got to remember that, hey, God, you are first and foremost. You are never going to let me down. And I'm ultimately depending on you above all else. Hopefully that helped you. There's an email there where you can email. I'd like to get all you guys' questions. So shoot me an email, share the video in the email, ask questions. So I'll get to your question as soon as I can get to it. So hopefully I'm trying to get to all you guys in a timely fashion. But share the video. Definitely share the video. If it helps you, it's going to help someone else. Until next time, I'll see you.